Good afternoon and welcome to Roll Fair. I am your unfamiliar voice, but also familiar voice. I am Ben. I'm going to be DMing a fun little one-shot for us this time around. Normally I'd be playing Rainer, but instead I'm going to terrorize other players. We appreciate you coming and listening. We'll go around and do some introductions. You can just do your name and the name of the character that you are going to be playing, like name, race kind of thing. So
okay. I'm Ryan, and I'm playing Handy. He's a Lightfoot halfling rogue.
I'm Brad playing Frax, the Furbolg druid.
I am Devin, not the dungeon master, playing Gildar Sandori, the human paladin of the Watcher Order.
And I'm Sarah. I am playing Parched, a water genasi druid.
Oh, I love that name. All right. So, we begin in the wandering town Bardesh, a nomadic desert town where the townsfolk are well known for building permanent structures with great skill. However, they don't tend to live in a single area for more than a year. They leave behind structures that either deteriorate back into the earth or taken over by whomever may need them. Established towns have sprung up across T'Chawi in the wake of Bardesh. However, on this evening, the door of a tavern comes bursting open with a gust of wind and sand, and moments later slams shut once more. At this time of the afternoon, tables would normally be filled with drink and merriment making their way around, but this afternoon it is appropriately empty considering the conditions outside. The windows are boarded up, and outside amidst the heavily rushing wind and the scraping of sands across the outer walls, you hear a creak, creak, creak as the tavern sign hangs on for dear life through the ensuing sandstorm. Once well carved and painted, half of the signage of the Curious Cup Tavern has been worn down almost illegibly from the harsh sandstorms that commonly blow up with the winds of the surrounding desert. Four rough and nomadic characters make their way into this dimly lit but well-fortified tavern, appreciative for secure shelter from another one of the desert's potentially deadly sandstorms. And we'll go around and have you describe your character who comes in out of this sandstorm.
All right. So you see Handy waltz in there. He's 3.5 feet tall. He's wearing 2 rapiers that are also 3.5 feet long. so they kind of drag on the ground a little bit behind him as they're strapped to his belt. Actually, no, I'll say that he has them strapped to his back that he'll pull out over his shoulder.
I still imagine he goes through sheaths like constantly where he's got to get them repaired. The
interesting his shoulders.
Dislocates them to.
He has brown hair. He looks like he's maybe 30 years old or so. Middle, not quite middle aged for a halfling. And the interesting thing about what you see on him is that he's wearing some glamored studded leather armor. So that means he can change the appearance of his clothing, and he just always walks around having it look like he's dressed up as a wealthy noble, rich halfling. Doesn't appear to be wearing any kind of armor, but he still has these swords strapped behind his back. But just kind of looks like he doesn't have any care in the world, very confident, just waltzing into the tavern.
Okay. I was about to say Arden. Brad.
You see this giant of a Furbolg, just grungy, dirty, happy, big smile on his face, full of twigs and everything you can think of. You don't know where it comes from because there's desert out there. But, yeah, just happy to be there.
All right.
Big
So
7'5",
just mess of a creature.
mess of a something.
So Handy maybe reaches up to his knee or so.
Yeah, not very tall.
All right, Devin.
So Gildar, as I said, is a human paladin. He is dressed in white robes that are like slitted to be able to allow him movement in combat. And he is wearing splint mail armor, and he's got a very dark complexion about him, like he's always moody and grumpy. At his side, you see a jug of beer that he takes a long pull on every now and again. And he wears on his back a spear and a shield. And then he has an armory about him of daggers and hand axes.
Nice. I like the visual on that. And Sarah.
And lastly, you see a water genasi walk in. She is average height for a water genasi, like what, 5'5", 5'6", something like that. Light blue skin, dark blue hair that kind of like looks like it's always moving around. It looks like she's always wet. So like, it's just like beads of water, just like kind of on her.
Moist.
Just moist, yeah. Coming out of the desert, she's probably muddy. And just wearing like basic adventuring gear. So like she has like a hood thing and some mithril plate armor, and just looking like she's coming out of a bad storm.
All right. As you enter in the tavern, the door slams behind you. There's this last gust of the sand and everything following you in. It's sticking to your skin, parched, as you just kind of feel that last little bit, but you're happy to finally be out of it. You see a burly dwarven man, like probably a hill dwarf, that is behind the bar, and he looks you up and down. Not the first odd group of people that have come through this town, being as it's a town that kind of tends to move around as well. They've seen their fair share of kind of odd adventures, but it still is, he perks up a little bit at the interesting sight of someone who, despite everything that is going on outside, looks to be in pristine, glorious, heading to the Ritz condition. But, he's there to run a shop. He's just like, made it just in time. A few minutes later, and that door probably would have been boarded up too. You can actually see another dwarf coming from the back room. He's carrying a stack of boards. He's got a hammer in a thing around his in a loop around his belt, and he walks up to where the door is, and he starts putting boards, and you can see there's kind of like slots where the boards kind of just go down in, and then he hammers in just a single nail on either side just to give it that extra little bit of security there.
Would you like some help?
Yeah, I've got it. It's not like the first sandstorm that I've ever had to... almost forgot. And he pulls off, hold these, and he starts pulling the boards right back off and just handed them in a quick stack to you. And you see him don a pair of goggles and like wrap his head in a cloth. We'll be back in a minute. And he opens the door and he heads out into the sandstorm for just a quick minute.
Well, he's a goner. I need a beer.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I guess I'll start boarding up the door then.
He'll be back in a second. He's going around. Just nearby area. We do a quick check, make sure everyone's inside,
Oh, then I'll wait.
just to make sure. You know how these things can be. And but I can't get you that drink. We got just kind of whatever's lying around on the house here. It's 7 copper for.
Can you fill this up? And I hand you this like 2-gallon jug.
You know what? Desperate times, I'll fill it up. 7 copper.
Thank you.
Gosh, my Scottish is turning into freaking New Zealand
That's how it works.
thing.
It's okay. It's okay.
Happens sometimes. Anyway, just like he said, a minute or so later, this other dwarf comes in, just caked in sand now. Pulls the glasses off and the goggles off, and it's the only part of his face that's clean at this point. Yeah, all clear out there. And just kind of hand me those boards, and we'll get this all tightened up.
Well, I'll also have a pint myself. Parched? Are you feeling parched? Do I need to ask? You're always parched. A pint for parched as well.
I'll just take some water.
Well,
I'll take your pint.
yep, water's always appreciated in a desert, obviously. And he gets you a thing of water, and he gets you a pint. And you see the other dwarf finally finish getting all the boards up, and then goes into the back, and he comes out again with this big kind of like metal latching system that you see he hooks in areas around the door, and just that thing is not going anywhere at this point in time. And you think that like maybe you're like, wow, this is a bit overkill, and you kind of look around and you see similar setups all around the windows. And then about 5 or 10 minutes later, the wind just picks up just swiftly. It's harsh. You can actually feel the pressure of the room change as it pulls on the door as the sandstorm is passing. The building, like, even though they don't tend to stay in one spot very well, like the townspeople of Bardesh do construct very sturdy buildings, and you kind of get a sense of security and trust in it of people that have made these structures to weather storms. Even though with the heavy winds and everything, the whole building kind of shudders, there is a crude, heavy, cemented down feeling to it. Probably gonna be here a bit. This one sounds like a little worse than they usually are. I could set you up with some rooms. Just unfortunate circumstances. I want you just take a room, find a room and pick it up. Probably gonna be stuck in here for 3, maybe 4 days at this, from what I'm looking at.
Oh no.
Hope you have enough beer for us then. We
got plenty.
We're heavy drinkers.
Well, in the off chance we get more than like the transients and other just random people around in the bar, we've had a few sandstorms that have turned into quite the party. I'll tell you that much.
Do you have any soap?
I'm sure we do. Like, we got.
Buy it all. You're having a bath.
No.
Yes.
No.
It's time.
It's taken this much time to smell like this.
If we have to spend 3 days in here with you, you're taking a bath.
He's got a point. I
don't want another 100 years to figure out how to get this smell again.
I'd be happy if I didn't have to smell it in another 100 years. And like that, not to be offensive to a patron and like paying customers and stuff, but we're all kind of stuck in this building together. The sandstorm's going by, and like it's still gonna get a bit hot in here during the day. God, my accent is all over the place.
Don't worry about it.
I shouldn't.
It's all good.
Yes. But it's maybe for the better. I'll just make sure you have a room in the back.
What if I just
With 30 gallons of water.
change it into a bear? or something.
Let's do both.
No.
Let's drench a bear in 30 gallons of water.
Yeah. Because if you have soap, we have 30 gallons of water. This can happen.
Yeah, well, he provides. He's just like, yeah, we can get the water that you need. Like if you need it, we actually. He's like, we actually have a back room for washing up. Just patrons will sometimes use it, but it's free if you want to try and get the sticks out of your hair, or if you're otherwise forced by the rest of those around you that can't stand it anymore. So, yeah, how about you? There's a bit of like a pump back there that we've got kind of like underground stocks, essentially.
Oh, well.
Well, it's not really that. We have to fill it.
Oh.
We have to fill it ourselves. It's not like we're just, water coming out of the ground. We just look like we live in a freaking oasis out here.
Could have fooled me.
Let's change the subject.
What's there to do for entertainment?
Yes.
You can
We're gonna be stuck here.
get playing cards.
Is there a dartboard?
Sure. Do you know how to play darts?
Well, we can always figure it out.
It's usually where Frax just kind of picks me up and I stick my rapier out front and he throws me at the wall.
It's a fun game.
Do it.
Super fun.
I can't believe we started traveling together. I work alone. That's how I've always been. Why?
Alone is no fun.
Oh, you know you love us.
It's less stinky. But it's okay. We've done good work. We've saved some people. And
I've never had an animal say that they disliked my musk.
Oh, really? We must be talking to different animals then.
I didn't know you could do that.
How long have we been traveling together?
I forgot.
it's been like 6 months.
That's not much time, actually.
Yeah, it's still like 6 months. You say that's. He picks up, just off a certain like colors, schemes, whatnot that are just like in your armor things that you are members of the indigent herd, and it is not uncommon for like them to essentially travel alone for the most part. Working alone is kind of what they do. They're wanderers, nomadic stuff. But occasionally, if the need for it arises, they will group up in relatively small groups for a few weeks, maybe a month or so at most. So, the fact that you've been together for 6 months together is a pretty substantial period of time for members of the herd. And he recognizes this is like, well, I mean, if you've had to deal with your friend here for 6 months now, I'm pretty sure that you're probably immune to just about anything at this point.
He sleeps downwind or upwind, whatever it is. I'm not very smart.
Oh, jeez.
You were right the first time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Whatever it is. Yeah.
And I was ashamed.
It was a shame.
I was ashamed of you.
Changing my name.
What's in a name?
So downhearted.
How did it feel? Every time that I... Fun fuck.
All right.
Anyway, so is there anything else you want to do for the rest of your day?
Parch wants to go up to the barkeep and just say, "So have you heard any rumors? What's the deal around here?"
Well, we're probably, I'd say, probably going to be moving in the next 7-8 months here. Takes a little bit to kind of get up and going, but we've been kind of in this place for about a year and a half, and there's kind of talk amongst the council that we're about ready to move on. See if we can't find someplace else, maybe a little bit fewer sandstorms. These are happening about monthly.
What do you guys do? What's your business?
Well, I mean, I run a bar.
I could see that. I mean, what's the town's business?
I mean, travel around, you pick up all sorts of oddities and people and objects and whatnot. A lot of hunting and gathering. We live in the sands. I mean, you're probably well familiar with that yourselves. We don't get a lot of visitors through, to be perfectly honest. It's more of like a group, like a tight-knit community you got here, and we just look out for each other. There's not actually a lot of coin that really gets tossed around in here unless we get people coming through, because we all kind of understand we've got to work together to survive out in these kind of conditions.
I get that. Well, is there anything that we can kill for you guys? Maybe get paid for?
I mean, we're always welcome to get a little more meat added to the stocks. Probably not going to happen a lot with the sand going on out here. Even the creatures probably won't show up for a few days after.
So we're stuck here being bored.
Any creatures that you need a new home? Maybe they don't like living in this tavern.
Any
Rats,
patrons need evicting?
Such.
Well, like I said, we don't really have lots of issues. There was luckily, we have a couple, rowdy rabble rousers that like to make a bit of a stink when they get pissed, but they luckily decided to pack up and go home before the sandstorm hit. They're probably boarded up like we are at this point.
Parch looks around. Who else besides us is in this tavern?
You see, there are maybe 6 or 7 other patrons in there. From the looks of it, they're probably people that either have wandered into town and didn't really have a place to stay, just desert, kind of just traveling through. You've got one where you've got a father and he's got his just a son with him, and they're one of the townsfolk, but they kind of hang out in here. They came in for dinner and winds picked up, and they just felt they're like, we can stand it out, withstand it out here, and they know that the man is Sandkin is the one that is running the tavern. He's Sandkin Whitehill. I forgot to even mention his name.
We didn't ask.
Yeah. He's just kind of well known for taking in people when storms hit. So everyone kind of feels at home there. It's a lot of people that kind of seem to feel like they belong in a bar for extended periods of time.
The people that you mentioned that might be travelers, can we tell if they're Undigen herd, or something that we would know?
There are basically that looks like the small group of just random travelers coming through are what appear to be maybe a group of T'Chawi merchants. Okay. They were coming through, probably made it in, from the looks of how dirty they are, maybe 20-30 minutes before you did.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm gonna hit the hay, and I'll see you bozos in the morning. And Gildar goes up to bed.
Oh, good, he's finally gone. I don't know about you guys, but he's a piece of work, don't you think?
I heard that.
I hoped you would.
You just hear him starting to curse under his breath.
I don't know. He's always good entertainment, though.
Oh, he's a big fluffy.
He's fun to poke.
It's like poking a beehive.
Well, I'm gonna get some food.
Yeah.
What's cooking around here?
Well, we've got, like I said, we've got some good stocks. Actually managed to get one of the goats slaughtered this morning before the storm was coming in, so we can cook you up some steaks off of that. I like to get it when it's fresh.
Ooh, this is awkward.
Yeah. Do you have anything not murdered?
Oh, absolutely. There is. We always cater to vegetarian options. Like we got lots of carrots, lots of potatoes. Absolutely
that.
not boiled in goat broth. So
Okay.
I'll take all that and the goat.
Yeah. Let's. I'm gonna go in the corner, and then gonna cast. I get us basically sit down in the corner, and cast. Basically find familiar, and have a little fey rat.
Doesn't that take like an hour or something?
No, it's part of a wild companion, basically. As an action, I can use my wild shape feature to cast the Find Familiar spell without material components.
Nice.
Lasts for 4 hours. I'm just going to get a fey rat.
okay.
And basically, through his eyes, wander around. I want to see what this place is like.
Is
What
it
else
like
is
pink because it's a fey rat?
It's not a ferret, it's a fey rat.
Just rainbow colored.
Yeah, rainbow colored.
Considering how well fortified the windows and the doors are from the outside, a lot of the doors on the inside have kind of big enough gaps and everything that you have no problem kind of just running about the place, with the rat. It's pretty kind of just common layout that you'd think for a tavern. There's already there's a couple people upstairs in beds asleep, including a disgruntled paladin that's trying to get to sleep, but you just hear the muttering of curses under your breath, under his breath. There,
Can he? I can't remember. Can you hear through?
Yeah, I'm focusing. I'm seeing and hearing through.
Okay.
Yeah.
You hear me just offering prayers to Wanbiri, the goddess of death. And
please kill me.
Power.
Haven't I done enough?
oddly enough, the prayers are more in line with, please help me to, find the fiends or the other entities that do not belong to this plane. I feel that there's something here, but I just need to find it. Please help me do your will and banish those that aren't supposed to be here. And then, can I see the rat? No.
Are you trying to? I was gonna say, are you trying to
No.
be stealthy?
Not really, just looking around.
Okay.
So it's a tiny beast that's not
Yeah,
very.
but he seems to be focused in on his prayers, and
Yeah.
you kind of get away with it. So
Parched would like to ritually cast Speak with Animals. Can I talk to the rat?
yeah, you'd be able to talk
Hey.
to
And
him.
it's a fey.
It's still an animal
Yeah.
technically.
Mr. Rat, be honest. Does he smell bad?
Just had this big shake of.
Is he being truthful? Is the rat being truthful?
Insight check on the
Inside
rat.
check on the rat.
What'd that be?
22.
22. Basically, the rat, being from the Feywild, is so used to smells that you've probably never experienced before.
Actually, it's funny because
That he actually quite
have a clean
likes.
smell.
He's just like, it's different, and it's so many new smells for me, and I like smells, and so
Wow, you
It's
are
cool.
a traitor to your race.
what?
Yeah.
Rats like smells.
rats have the keen smell. Yeah. That's where home is. I always knows where home is because that's.
I was trying to make a point. It failed miserably. Gonna go back out to sit back next to Handy.
So you guys stare at each other and there's
munching away on
not
the
a
food.
lot to do. Like the food comes out and like it's
Would you
Pretty
actually
good.
be out to being thrown like a dart?
Yeah, I've done it before. It's pretty fun.
Oh my gosh. Frax, are you done with whatever you're doing in the corner?
All my vision and hearing is through the rat, so depends on where the rat is. If I could hear
Rat.
you say that,
Hey, Rico.
I think
because I was just gonna
if
go.
you're upstairs or in the back room, you probably don't hear it.
Yeah, I was gonna go and basically just see the layout of this whole place and see what I can see and if there's anything weird going on or if it's just a normal. If we're stuck in here, this boring place.
There's not a lot that like you can access essentially. Like there are like back rooms. There's a basement, essentially like a cellar, there's kind of cooler areas of the cellar deep under the sand
Sex
that
dungeon. Nice.
is where they keep the goat and like there you
no.
notice like this kind of interesting like cemented off area that you can just your rat senses you can kind of like hear the sloshing of water back there and stuff and something in there is keeping the water moving essentially so it doesn't stale out.
Parched would like to try to throw Handy like a dart.
Make a strength saving throw. Or not saving throw, acrobatics or athletics.
I weigh 45 pounds.
Whichever one is the
Plus one
strength
gear.
one. Athletics, I
Athletics.
think, is the strength one.
Yeah, you could probably do that. 45 pounds. What do
Oh
you
my
have on you,
gosh,
though?
it's a natural 20.
Oh, dang.
So I pick you up and I'm like, I have actually -1 to strength. So I'm like, and I have to like rock
You like toss me
you know,
underhanded?
yeah, underhanded like work, and I'm like, hold out your daggers straight. Woof.
So, like, basically, you get ready to do it, and, like, Handy takes a few steps back and then kind of, like, runs to give you a little bit of help. And so, even though normally you're not strong enough, that added a bit of momentum. Like, it kind of just carries all the way through, and, like, you go flying at the wall.
What number do we hit in the dartboard?
Roll. Just roll it. Make an attack roll. Just add your dexterity because it's a ranged attack.
Okay.
I'm an improvised weapon now.
This is good for later. So 14.
14. Okay, you hit the dartboard, and that's good solid like 45-point hit. And considering 50 is a bullseye, you get pretty dead on there. It's you're rather surprised. You're also surprised that like luckily you know the condition of your swords, how they're magical and everything, and ramming them into a dartboard that's right in front of like a stonish, cementish kind of plastered wall. And somehow, luckily for you, you don't damage your swords in the process.
And I'll just
But,
I'll just hang from them and then swing around to plant my feet on the wall and yank them out as I kind of backflip back down.
So it's a little bit of a strain because they're as long as you, but you've done it before and are successful.
So tell me something, Handy. Why the length?
Well, I find that I'm usually fighting things bigger than me and usually need to pierce pretty deep, so.
Is a bar? Oh, jeez.
And your name is Handy?
Is
I
the
love it.
bartender the
Perfect.
dwarf? Right?
Bartender is a dwarf, yeah.
Yeah.
A hill dwarf.
I'm going to get out of the vision and stand up and. Mr. Dwarf, is it okay if I
Mr. Senkin. Senkin Whitehill.
Senkin Whitehill Dwarf. Will you allow me to visit your goats? I saw where they're kept. I just Can I go down there?
I mean, like, that one is, the one that you saw downstairs was slaughtered. That's,
Oh.
I don't know how you saw it was down there, but, like, I mean, we're all family here for the next couple of days anyway, so it's not. The goats, like the live ones, I've got a stable out back that
They're in the
I
store?
locked down. It's locked down. They're plenty safe.
So that
In fact, it's probably a bit more secure than here.
You know, circle of life, it makes sense, but once you start talking to them, it's a little weird eating them.
You see
So-
Parch just.
Well, weird for some, but anyway, circle of life, it's okay. I don't know where I'd be comfortable in here.
Well, like I said, I got a back room upstairs if you want that. It's a little bit away. It's a little bit out of the noise. It doesn't have any windows, so you're not going to get as much of the wind noise on it. And you can kind of hide out there if you want to. Not really concerned about eating the goats. I don't like this one. Named him Gravy. And he's a good goat. And like he's also a good goat now. So it's just kind of the way of things when you're raising livestock. I don't mean no offense. I know you're kind of like a cow creature thing. I've met a few, but
You have met a few.
not common, but they occasionally come around. And with how often we move around, and you know, being alive for about 150 years now, like you know, you get around, you see a couple.
Of course.
Had a few friends.
Yeah. We're probably related, so.
Yeah, there's not a lot of you around here, so I'd imagine it's a possibility.
No, it's definite. But anyway, I'll find something. I'm just gonna go.
Yeah,
see if I can
apologize.
find something comfortable.
Apologize. I've got like decks of cards. I've got
I'll have the
like
deck of cards.
there's a small library.
really
He hands you a deck of
need to
the
read.
deck of cards.
I immediately start to make a card tower.
I'll take another ale.
Fine.
Or why
all
don't you
good.
just bring out like 4?
Yeah, I'll just I'll just open up the taps, and he actually takes a tankard out from the back and sets it up on the thing.
Do you have a front
plugs
stool?
it.
Go ahead. Sorry.
And yeah, like he's oh yeah, absolutely. And you see him like from behind the bar, you know, like 'cause every once in a while when he goes in the back, like he disappears again, and he like steps down his own steps from behind the bar, and on this like little platform that he can walk along it from behind, and like he comes around with his own little a secondary stool.
So, Gildar has decided that the wind is too loud to sleep. So he comes back down. He notices you with the cards building your tower, and I pick one up.
Wow.
What is it? Like just regular playing cards?
They are actually they're
Dang it! I thought I had something.
Where did you pick up my card? Like from the bottom? Did my card tower fall down?
Oh, I totally picked it up from the bottom.
What a dick.
That's what I am.
Oh, jeez.
Not even a good kind. Parched is going to cast Gust against you to push you away.
Okay.
Nice.
I believe
It's
that's a
windy enough
saving-
out there.
I believe that's a saving throw.
It's a strength saving throw. Otherwise, you get
I
pushed
have
5
got
feet
this.
away from me.
I have not got this. That's an 8.
No, you are pushed 5 feet away, my friend.
Hey, can you try that to me?
We're gonna calm down. We've already got enough wind on our hands as it is.
It sounds like fun, though.
What the heck, Parched?
Gust.
What did I do?
You can just let it push you if you want.
No, I wanted to try to push against it.
Okay.
I want to see if I can. Oh, dang. 13.
No, you are pushed away.
Whoa, that's powerful. I like that.
All right.
Oh, now the
I gotta try
stench
this.
is around the room. Yeah, and like, I'm sure the cards and everything are just flying everywhere at this point. Gust against Handy.
Oh boy.
But you're the only one that actually.
Nope. It's an 8.
Oh.
Yep, you were pushed back 5 feet.
Sandkin's like singing the message. And he's just like, would you mind, like, are you done? Look, I
Do you
know.
want to try it?
No,
I like
on.
this game.
I know it's a bit boring, like having to sit around in here, but you just kind of. There's not a lot to do. Have you guys never been stuck in a sandstorm before? Like, I'd be shocked. But,
Outside, but inside is boring.
I guess maybe this is just how you entertain yourselves when you do have a sandstorm. I should have thought of that. Like I said, we don't get a lot of foreigners around.
We're all dicks. I'm the chief dick, though.
I don't mean to be.
I don't have a dick.
Well, all comments noted. Let's just try and.
We just need something to kill. There's nothing to kill around here.
I
mean,
understand.
it could be arranged.
Well, then
Give
defend.
it
like
a
Parch
minute.
looks at
Just settle down for a day or two, and we should be able to get you out of here and killing something.
So, Gildor, what kind of name is Gildor? Did your parents hate you?
It's a traditional Yabankichi name.
Wow.
I mean, parched
Well, of
I can't
course.
or handy.
Yeah, you just pick your own name. It's better that way.
I didn't pick my name.
Well, that doesn't mean you can't.
Frax.
What if I was dog? That's my name
that
now.
would just be a
I feel
stupid
like
name.
cow's better.
Cow. There we go. Dog cow.
We can call you Meatloaf.
That would be a weird animal. A dog cow.
Meatloaf it is.
Meatloaf. That's disturbing.
Rancid meatloaf.
A loaf of meat.
Anyway,
Gildor takes some of the goat leg. Gildar, and he just starts gnawing on it.
Ooh. And I thought I could turn into an animal.
but
Oh, jeez.
so you guys just are pulling at strings, trying to keep yourselves from going mad for the next several
Going in
days.
circles.
Just gonna
with a stool.
basically
It's
sit in the corner and druidcraft for.
I think I'm like just
A while.
whittling into the table.
Gonna make myself a little
elegantly
yurt.
carved table. So about a day and a half into this sandstorm, the wind like rapidly just disappears, and like you almost think like, oh, the sandstorm is gone, but like Sankin stops everyone and just like something is odd about it, like because he's never had a sandstorm just dissipate like that. And then about 5 minutes later, it starts picking up once more, and he kind of like calms down a little bit. He's just like, "Okay, that was kind of odd." Your rat, about most of the way through that second day, seems a little unnerved. You're not really sure why. Even though you have that connection with your familiar. You kind of get the sense that he almost wants to hide as if something is coming. By the end of the day, the wind is picked up just as harsh as ever, but you also realize that, those of you with like higher perception, that the wind is now blowing in the opposite direction as it was. So it's like the storm suddenly stopped and then decided to head back the other way, which again is really odd. And even like Sankin kind of recognizing it as a little bit disturbed, because along with this opposing direction in this just building of just mud, stone, brick, whatever they could mash together, the temperature begins to drop.
Parched is going to look at Gildor. What did you pray for? This is your doing. I'm sure of it.
Well, seeing as I'm the only one who prays here, I doubt it.
pray in different ways. It's not for death.
Well, I don't pray for death either.
Oh, sorry, to death.
you guys all misunderstand Wanbiri. She is not a goddess of evil or foul disease or death. Well, she is the goddess of death, but she's more a gatekeeper, a guide to those who are passing to the next life.
Yeah, and I'm not in any hurry to pass into the next life. And so this business of, the sandstorm going tee, and then go right back,
it is a little weird.
So does that make you the keymaster?
No.
Where's the gatekeeper?
I'm more of a, what I do is I keep, Wanburi, she likes order within the planes. And creatures that should not be in this plane, I send back to their plane either through death or through banishment. Usually through death.
I feel like it would.
Oddly enough, you shouldn't be here.
Well,
but
it's true.
There are permissions granted to some creatures of other planes.
I appreciate it.
He thinks he's such a big shot. Look at him. All puffed up, parading around.
I think you just say that because you couldn't kill Frax in a fair fight.
I wouldn't want to go do that. I mean,
I bet I easily could. But
and that's why you have to be grouped together with us, because you can't be alone.
I try not to kill unless I have to.
exactly. Yeah.
I prefer you
Long tail,
not kill
but-
anyone in my tavern anyway. Besides, I think we'll probably be getting out of here. And he kind of like has some sense. You've noticed that through the rest of this like third day in here, just cooped up, the winds are beginning to die down. It has gotten cold, and like Sankin and his son have been keeping the fireplace in there stoked as much as possible. By the time you wake up on the morning of the fourth day, there is just, you can see your breath. It is just bitterly cold throughout the tavern, and like the only warmth seems to be coming from one fireplace down in the main area, which everyone is like crowded
Huddled
around. There's like condensation frosted on the glasses that are behind the bar and the bottles, and even the tap where the beer was. It looks like at some point in time, because of the cold temperature, has actually burst but then frozen. And that's where we're going to leave it for this session. We want to thank you all for listening, and we hope to have you come back again for the next exciting episode.
You have been listening to Rollfair, a D&D podcast. Produced, recorded, and mixed by SF Shields. Executive produced by the Rollfair team. Copyright 2021 by Rollfair LLC. All rights reserved. Visit us online at rollfair.com.